We've got some news, folks. Mrs. Piney Grove is leaving Florida. What's up, guys? Brad here from Piney Grove, and I'm out here on our 1,200-acre recreational property. And I'm actually going to be working on my areas today, but my Air Force buddy's out here. There's 3 of us that share this property, and he's got his rig. You see behind me, you see his ATV with his Cabela's 2.0 spreader. He's out here plotting. He's doing it a little bit different way, so I thought I'd capture a little bit of that because soon in some upcoming videos, there'll be some videos of the way that I do it. It's very similar, except that he uses a disc harrow and I use a tiller. And it's just always good to have Kubota footage. I hear him bouncing along. There he is. He is just bouncing the heck out of that tractor. Like he found a shed. I'll tell you, man, I heard you from like way out there by your truck. It looks pretty bumpy, but there's a little bit of moisture. I'm surprised. It's a little bit of brown instead of just all dust. I've got a toolbox video out there, and you can see this toolbox here. This is a metal toolbox we put on this tractor, but you'll see that the reason I went to a different toolbox on mine is because of this right here. This 3-point hitch, this top link right here, will come up here and hit that toolbox when you're unloading things off the tractor. Now, another thing to talk about the top link, you'll see in the center that it's kind of humped up. And the reason that is because the back end of the disc harrow is lower than the front end of the disc harrow. So he's got to shorten his top link to bring up the rear of the disc harrow, and then he won't get that furrow.
Normally you run the tractor when you're doing this so you can raise and lower it, but we don't want all that diesel noise, so tighten it up.
And as he tightens that top link and makes it shorter, it's lifting up the back end of this disc harrow. So the easiest way to do it is to lift it up and then put it down. And every time you do that, you can then shorten the top link rather than trying to muscle it. So that L3800 we bought brand new in 2014. I've since moved on to the L3901, but that's got, is it pushing 800 hours yet? We've had a couple of dashboards put in it because it had a hole in it and dust got in it, and they covered it under warranty. So it's got about 750 hours on it, and it's still running strong. That thing has put in many, many acres of food plots.
I went to Seoul the other day and was talking to him about that.
Right.
And told the guy
about the hours or the...
Told the guy the year, and I said, it's, you know, the last year, that old diesel model. He said, first thing he says, don't ever get rid of it.
Yeah, so we talk about that in my L3901, and I think I have a video called Best Tractor for Homesteads, and we talk about the diesel particulate filter and the fact that the L3901 has that emissions and this L3800 doesn't. And you just heard he went to the dealer to look at some actually to buy a new tiller, which they've almost doubled in price in the last couple of years. And you heard him say it. They say don't get rid of those old tractors. So we're gonna have videos coming out of how we plot, but the difference is the disc versus the rototiller. So he just did that test run to make sure the disc was set up correctly. But what he's going to do is take that ATV, he's going to spread his seed on top of this ground, and he already tilled it up, and that's not necessary, but he already hit it with the disc a few weeks ago because it was too wet, and he wanted it to dry out. Well, we haven't had a lot of rain just like the rest of the country, so now, you know, we're wishing we had captured more of that moisture, and by disking, you open up the ground and it'll dry out. If he hadn't have disked it, he would have had a little bit more moisture here. But that was just a test pass. He can go get his ATV now, spread out his seed, and then he'll disc it now that he's got the disc set properly, and then he'll be done. Well, actually, after he discs it, then he will Cold-a-pack it. He's got the Cold-a-packer out there to tow behind the ATV. But that's one way to do plotting. It's very similar to what I'll do on my plots, except I'm going to use a rototiller. That's Wren's Abruzzi Rye, the #1 ingredient that we use in our food plot mixture. Apparently, Aaron's not mixing. Normally, we'd mix it in a hopper, but he's pressed for time, and I'm talking to him, holding him up, but he's going to spread the rye, then spread the wheat, and then he's going to disc.
And it's such a small plot, I can do a pass with this bucket, dump that, and do another pass, and I will get both types of seed on there as much as I want, so it's not a big deal.
We need to let him get to work. I had to leave Aaron and come over here because otherwise I wouldn't get anything done and he wouldn't get anything done. He's actually on a short timeline because his house is getting re-bricked from Hurricane Michael, which happened 4 years ago. So here it is, over 4 years ago. He's just now getting his house re-bricked. So I just wanted to put that out there because there are people now that are suffering from Hurricane Ian down in South Florida, and they've got a long road ahead of them. So if there's anything you can do to help them out, I'm sure they'd appreciate it. We went through it. We were without power for a couple weeks, and we went through years of rebuilding. We're over the hump now, but as you can see, my good friend is still trying to recover by getting his house back to the way it was prior to the hurricane. But I'm out here on my section. It's the last ladder that I have to rebuild because the wood rotted. And you'll notice that the wood that I have is treated wood, but I dried it for a week or so before I painted it. And then I painted it on all four sides. So I did that to give it extra protection from the elements, but also because of carpenter bees. Carpenter bees love to bore into the wood out here in Florida. I don't know if they're like that in your area. Leave us a comment down below if you have carpenter bees. But I cover all sides with paint, and I use an oil-based or an enamel paint, but carpenter bees won't bore into a painted piece of wood. We learned that, so now anytime we're replacing treated wood out here, we make sure it's painted so that it lasts a lot longer. Here's what I have to finish today. I've got to get these steps put on, that deck screwed in, and then I have to put some cover on either side of the ladder, so as I climb up the ladder, the deer can't see me getting in and out of the condo. I've already got the rails here, I've already got the steps or the treads pre-cut, and I've got the decking pre-cut. So hopefully this goes faster because I only have a limited amount of time. Miss Piney Grove is out of town. She's out in Texas visiting family. So I've got a short fuse here because Bella, our Brittany Spaniel, has to stay in the cage. I can't leave her in the cage too long, so I want to knock this out quickly and get home and let her run around. If you don't have one of these, you should think about getting one. These things are so handy. It's a DeWalt brushless 20 volt circular saw. I think it's 7-inch. I'll put a link down below. Once I get that first step on and level, the rest of it's easier because I have these pre-cut pieces of board that I put right there, and then I put the next step on top. Now what's important to me on all steps after the first one is that they're level. So even though these boards are here, I still check level. So I'll hold it up level. So I'll put a 3.5-inch screw. Now I just move the boards up and work my way up. All right, the stairs are all done. So now I've got some standard 5/4 decking material. It's treated. I've already got the frame here for a 3-foot by 45-inch porch. So I'm just going to equally space these decking boards. So I've been working on framing. I got this framed right here. This will be the left side as I come up the condo, and this will hold some plastic sheathing so the deer won't see me from the plot back there. Spin around here, and then behind me I did the exact same thing, carbon copies of each other. That's really the important side, so we're going to do a 4-foot piece of plastic sheathing on that side, and then we're also going to do some coming down the ladder. That came out pretty good. I was going to cut it off there at the bottom, but I like that. It takes it all the way down. That'll help hide me as I come up the ladder. I'll put one more piece sticking out here, and I think I'll just let it stick past here. So I got it all done. I'm going to show you how I get up into this condo, the trail coming behind it, and also give you a view from inside the condo. So behind me, that's the trail that comes in off the logging road. There's the condo. Big food plots over there. You probably see my white truck right there. So you come up the steps and you're hidden on the right side by the plastic panel. A little bit of vulnerability here on the left side. So you would just kind of hug the right side as you come up. And once you get up in here, you're pretty well hidden. So you got the beginnings of the food plot over there and the rest of it over there. I don't even know what that is. Some kind of feces of some sort. There ain't no mice up here. I've never seen a mouse in here. And here's the view. There's the big plot. There's the smaller plot. I don't know if you can see it, but up underneath there is a scorpion. There's his tail. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. You can see the condo behind me and the left side of it where I put those plastic panels. It's ready to hunt. I may come back and put some peel and stick on the outside of it to help preserve it, get a few more years out of it. But otherwise, it's ready to go. I'm going to pop into these food plots and check my trail cams. If I get any good pictures, I'll put them here at the end of the video. But otherwise, that's all I've got. So until the next one, y'all take care out there. And remember, life's short. Enjoy our great outdoors. Welcome home, babe.
Thanks, babe. You didn't lose my dog, did you?